After winning only 2 games on their trip out west, the Guardians return home only 2 games out of first place. It's time to get going as Cleveland welcomes in Oakland, then Milwaukee on this 6-game homestand that starts tonight. Hello again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. The Guardians have not been able to find their groove at all this season. They've been consistently below that 500 threshold. But there have been signs that offensively things are starting to come together, especially when it comes to Josh Naylor, who over the last 30 days has put up the best batting average by anyone not named Luis Arraez.
That's something right there. And I'll tell you, Josh Naylor, when you talk about feeling it, he has certainly been in some kind of groove. It seems like he's having a multi-hit game every night. He's locked in. He's hitting it to left, to center, to right. He's hitting high fastballs, low curveballs. It doesn't matter what you throw him. He's driving them home, and he's been very clutch about doing that. He ended up having 1 bad game, and the next game he had 4 hits on Sunday. But you look at his average in the last 30 games, 386. How about 14 multi-hit games, 34 ribbies? Just follow that man right there. Get on base for him, and you're going to have some runs scored, I guarantee it.
That's our Northern Ohio Buick dealer stat. And as I talked about, this is a time to get going for Cleveland. You've got Oakland, then you've got Milwaukee, then out on the road to face Kansas City, at the Cubs, come back home to play Kansas City and Atlanta going into the All-Star break. So, hey, you know what, look, obviously, as we've seen in years past, Terry Francona's clubs usually play their best ball after the All-Star break, but you can't just count on that they're going to get hot suddenly late in July.
Well, they only a couple more homestands before the All-Star break, so they've got to turn it around here. They haven't played well at home, and if you're going to win a division, you've got to play well in your own ballpark. So hopefully they buckle down here and the next homestand. I know you don't want to look ahead, but they've got some competition that they should beat.
Boy, there's so much going on with this ball club right now, too. Aaron Civale gets to start tonight. Tomorrow, Gavin Williams will make his much-anticipated Major League debut. So a lot to talk about. We'll be back with the first pitch. We'll check in with Al and Ellis and Andre. It's all coming up next. Cleveland Guardians baseball is brought to you by Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Destination Cleveland. Watch at thisiscleveland.tv. And DHL Supply Chain, now hiring for a wide range of salaried, managerial, and operational roles. Apply today at joindhl.com.
6-game homestand for the Guards, 3-game series with the Oakland A's here tonight. Aaron Civale is on the mound for Cleveland. He's had success against the A's in his past. We'll see if that continues here tonight in downtown Cleveland. Welcome back to right center field. Ellis Burks, Sal Pulowski, good to have you along with us tonight. So Steven Kwan at the top, Ahmed Rosario right behind him, the 1-2 hitters, Ellis. They are so important to what this Guardians team has been doing in June, getting on base and setting the table for guys like Ramirez and Naylor and Bell.
You know, that 1-2 punch is very important at any level, especially at the big league level. And these guys are table setters. They've been getting it going pretty much most of the season. And, you know, getting it, like you said, setting the tables for the guys right behind them, and they're doing a great job.
Now, here's the numbers on the road trip, too, as Ahmed Rosario heats up. Steven Kwan had a 4-hit game the other night in Arizona, but scoring runs, that's been important. 5 runs scored for Kwan. And how about Ahmed Rosario and those triples, too?
I tell you what, they're feeding off each other, and that's exactly what you have to do to have some success in this game, and they're doing it. Hopefully it'll continue, especially tonight.
All right, Andre now joins us now, and Andre, Aaron Civale on the hill trying to get it done against the A's.
Yes, he is. He's going to follow this guy and this guy right here. Look, the Guardians come into this game 2 games out of first place. That's exciting usually when you consider it's almost July. But they're 5 games under 500, and that made me ask Terry Francona, where exactly are the Guardians? And then we talked to Carl about what happened to the pitching staff on this last road trip.
Whatever our record is what we are. That's how I always feel. No matter if we, like how we got to it, or should it be better, should it be worse, our record is what it is. So we need to do better. I think we will. I always feel that way. But you know, that's just it's fluid. That's the one thing. When somebody asks me something like, "Hey, do you think the hitters?" Man, it's a new day and things move every day.
Strike one and controlling the count. You know, we really, I think no one would be upset with me for saying did a really poor job of that in San Diego. We ran 3-2 counts so many times, 3-1, 3-2 deep in counts, and good hitters are going to make you pay, and we suffered the consequences due to that. So I think that's another lesson to be learned.
Rick, Matt, you can take it how you want to take it when it comes to what Tito said. Yes, you can be excited because you're 2 games out and you don't feel like you've played your best baseball, but you haven't played good baseball, and that's the concern I think many have in this dugout. When you hear what Carl Willis was talking about, it feels like that was the issue on the road trip. They didn't control the count. That's not how they've been taught, and that's why we saw so many innings pitched by the bullpen. If that continues, we have bigger issues, is what Carl told me, than being excited for a young guy coming up.
Yeah, and I don't think we're going to see Tito change at all until you get to the 500 mark. I mean, you have to do that if you're going to think about winning your division.
Look, for the last 2 years now, this team is built this way. They all must contribute. They all must play well. The offense can't out-hit a bad pitch game. The pitching can't shut out an opposing offense if their offense doesn't score at least 3 runs. So
make it 4.
They've got to all contribute, and hey, that's a tough way to go sometimes because you're going to run into slumps on both sides of the ball every now and then.
But you know what? It's a total team effort. When they win, everybody feels like they do. When they lose, everybody has to take the blame as well. I don't care if they have a lot of young players and rookies. They had them last year. This year they've got to do it. No excuses. You got to bear down. You got to concentrate, and you got to do it out on the field. They've been taught the right way to do it. It's a matter of execution now.
Well, and they have to execute against a team that they won 2 out of 3 from in Oakland on that first road trip of the season. But now you fast forward to where Oakland's season has been a train that has completely come off the tracks. The distractions that these guys have had to deal with are hard to really wrap your head around, from poor play on the field to the team is leaving. Well, maybe they're not leaving.
Yeah.
Well, now they are leaving, but where are they going to play for the next several years? There's so many questions and issues that they've had to deal with. More importantly, though, Cleveland has to go into this game not looking past Oakland, not thinking like, hey, this is a series they can sweep. They've got to go out and grind away just like it's any other opponent.
They have to. And I guarantee you, Oakland remembers that they could have won every one of those 3 games out in Oakland that we played against them, except we took 2 out of 3. So they'll be ready to go. And so will Aaron Civale, because he will be our Chevrolet starting pitcher for today. Aaron coming out, he is making his 6th start of the year. It'll be his 3rd at home. He came off a tough start in San Diego in his last one. They hit a leadoff home run in the bottom of the 1st inning. He gave up another one in the 3rd. But that was all. They made him work, and they made him go deep into a lot of counts. Those are veteran hitters. You don't have the same hitters in this thing. I want to see him strike one and start to move.
Here is the starting lineup for Marcotte and the Oakland Athletics. Esteury Ruiz will lead it off. He can fly. Do not let him get on base. Ryan Noda in the 2-hole. Brett Rooker, he's got some pop. He'll be the DH and hit 3rd. Seth Brown will bat cleanup. Jace Peterson is 5th. Aledmus Diaz, utility man, playing shortstop tonight, bats 6th. Ramon Laureano is 7th. Tony Kemp 8th. And Shane Langoliers, the catcher, batting 9th.
Defensively for the Guardians, brought to you by Rally House. Quan is in left, Straw in center, Brennan over in right. On the infield, it'll be Ramirez, Rosario, Jimenez, and Naylor. And it'll be Bo Naylor behind the plate.
Home plate umpire is Carlos Torres. Brock Ballou at first. Jansen Visconti at second. Corey Blazer, your crew chief, is over at 3rd. Game time temperature 80 degrees. It is very humid. Tomorrow is the first day of summer, and believe me, it feels like it. Glad to have you with us as Aaron Civale winds it up, and tonight's first pitch is a curveball in there for strike 1.
Why not start with that pitch? That's one of his best. He throws it, and he's going to let him know that he has that in his back pocket early.
Ruiz waves at a cutting fastball, and then he's in the hole 0-2.
That's what you like.
Ground ball to short. Rosario gets a nice hop and throws him out one away. Oakland comes in having lost their last 5 in a row, and that's on the heels of a 7-game winning streak. And that's kind of been their season. Prior to that 7-game winning streak, they had a stretch where they lost 11 in a row. They lost 18 out of 23. They had another 7-game skid.
Yeah, they were down for a long time until they won that 7, and then they moved up, and now they're tied with Kansas City for a number of wins, 19.
The fewest in all of baseball.
And boy, this has been the Central Division of the American League has been tough. They have been beaten up.
The 1-1 to Ryan Noda, and he sends a sky-high pop to left. Flings the bat in disgust. 2 down. And that'll bring up Brent Rooker, the designated hitter.
Number 25, Brent Rooker.
Rooker got off to a pretty good start. He hit .358 in the month of April, but has batted just .209 since.
Isn't it funny how the league makes adjustments?
He has given them a little pop, though. 13 homers, leads the club. 9 of his 13 home runs have come on the road. 1 ball, 1 strike. He checked the swing on the ball down low. Yeah, he chased one. Good cut fastball.
Yeah, he loves the cutter. He'll throw it to both parts of the plate. You know, he'll sink it in. He will throw changeups to left-handers, and he's got that curveball. That is probably his best pitch. And you'll see the swings that they take. It ends up turning into a guessing game when you're facing Civale.
Struck him out looking. Rooker didn't like the call. It's a 1-2-3 first for Aaron Civale.
This evening brought to you by Chevrolet. You look at him on the year, he's made 10 starts, 1-5 record. He's given up a lot of hits and walks, you know, for the innings, and he also given up 14 home runs on the year, but he may not be in here long.
They're planning on using him as an opener for Louis Medina. He did that once earlier this year. He pitched an inning in front of Medina against Houston on May 28th. Kwan shoots one over the head of the third baseman Peterson and down the left field line. Off the sidewall. Brown can't scoop it up before Kwan dashes into second base with a leadoff double.
Well, nice approach. Good swing, and it was slicing away from him. And you know, for Brown, he couldn't get to that ball before it got to the wall, so he had to wait for it to come off, or he might have been able to hold Kwan to a single. It slices, and then there you see it getting the wall. So Kwan will get his 17th double.
Ahmed Rosario swinging a hot bat coming into this one. Of course, everybody seemed to be swinging a hot bat Sunday in Arizona for the Guardians. But if you total them all up, in his last 12 games, Rosario has 18 hits, 7 runs scored, and 5 runs batted in. Off to the right and out of play. Upstairs, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Waldichuk, a rookie. He is 5th among major league rookies in innings pitched, with 59 2/3 coming in. Bounced up the middle, and Diaz looks back. Kwan throws out Rosario, 1 away. The rest of Terry Francona's starting lineup brought to you by Progressive. Here comes Jose Ramirez, Josh Naylor, then Josh Bell will DH. Andres Jimenez, Will Brennan, Miles Straw, and Bo Naylor batting ninth. Jose Ramirez batting .409 over his last 10 games. Fastball in off the plate. When these two teams met back in April in Oakland, Ramirez went 5 for 12 in that 3-game series with 3 runs batted in, and they walked him 3 times.
Change up there. He's trying to get inside to the right-handers with that fastball. At least he's moved him off the plate and came back with a changeup. Yeah, that's got to be a weird feeling when you're an opener. You know, you go up here, you pitch, whether it's your 1 inning or 2 innings, and your day's done. You know, normally it's the other way around. You throw your starter out there, let him go as long as he goes, then you get into the bullpen.
The 2-2. Ramirez shoots one to right field. Laureano will make the catch. And Kwan holds at second. 2 down. Storylines brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Guardians hope to get some momentum at home going. They are 16-17 on the year here at Progressive Field. The A's overall are last in the league in pitching, but boy, in the last couple of weeks they've been a lot better.
Right, they are last in the league. With the last 12 games, they have an ERA of of 2.97.
Yeah.
To bring it down to 4. So each month it's been getting better and better.
Josh Naylor fouls that first pitch off. I guess in theory I kind of understand the concept of the opener, where the idea is if you have a guy that can go out and face the team's best 3 to 5 hitters,
right,
then that's one less time
the next guy
has to face them, and in the hopes that he can get you deeper into the game that way.
And that's just it. The hopes that he can go maybe 5 innings and get you to your bullpen the way you like it. But there's no guarantees there.
There's no guarantee either way. But if you do it and it works how it's patterned, you're into the 7th inning.
Yeah, right.
You know, with the lead, and you can go to your best guys in the pen.
I think most managers would love to give me 5 starters. I mean, if they could.
No doubt. You know, it's funny you guys talk about the A's team ERA. They're at 2.97, as you just mentioned. But in April, it was almost
7.
8.
Yeah, it was a high 7.
And then in May, 5.54. So
and
that's
it's
a big
4
difference.
now.
Yeah.
And so that's what I said. Every month it's going down. So he's starting to figure it out over there.
And maybe that's why they're using openers.
Well, correct.
Got him looking. So a good opening act for Ken Waldichuk. And we are scoreless after 1. Brown will lead off for Oakland. Brown is the guy that they hope can give them some pop in the middle of the lineup, but he missed a chunk of time from April 9th until May 21st. He was on the injured list with an oblique strain. Since he came off, he's batted just .193 though in 26 games.
It's tough missing time early, whether you're coming out of spring training or something happens in the first month of the season. Then you're playing catch up the rest of the year.
Bounced in there. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And that's basically what Civale's doing now. You know, he's playing catch up. This is only his 6th start on the year, and then only his 4th since coming off.
Boy, he was late on that fastball. Maybe he was looking for something off speed.
Yes,
Tried to spoil it.
That's what Civale can do to you. You can get you sitting on the spin. And he likes to throw that cutter on the outside part of the plate, and I think that's what that was, a high cut fastball.
He was trying to pick it out of Bo Naylor's mitt to stay alive.
He likes to throw that to left-handers upstairs away where it comes in. Not many people can do that. They like it down more. But he can throw it up.
Jace Peterson. Boy, he's been some kind of streaky. Pops this one in the air. And Stephen Kwan backpedaling, makes the catch. And Peterson now 1 for his last 17.
Batting 6 now for Oakland. The shortstop, number 12.
StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. Aaron Civale making his 6th start.
That's all this year. You can see the cutter. That's his favorite pitch to go in and out. The curveball sets everything else up, and then he just goes with what's working on that given night.
Aledmus Diaz. Hard hit ball fair down the third baseline. Diaz on his way to second base, and he'll have a 2-out double. First hit of the night for Oakland.
There's the curveball, slows it down, but left it up. And then he's able to turn on it and get it right down the line past Ramirez. For Diaz, that'll be double number 7. And one thing I like out of the first 6 hitters that Civale's faced, 5 strike ones.
Ramon Laureano. That was a pretty good first pitch,
sure
but didn't
was.
get the call there.
You know, you keep making that pitch and you'll get it called.
Way out in front of it. Laureano had an 11-game hitting streak, which is the best by any Oakland hitter this year, and since then just 2 for 17.
One thing it's tough to do when you're playing in a lineup and going like the A's have gone this year. If somebody does get hot in that lineup, you can certainly try and pitch around them and make somebody else beat you or get them to try and swing at pitches that you don't really want to throw to them. You know, you're only as good as that lineup's going. And if you can't stay consistent, it's very hard to do when you don't score. Everybody's got to pick you up. And their team is like us. They hit a lot of singles. 2 teams that hit the most singles in all of baseball.
Two swung on and missed. He struck him out. Third K for Aaron Civale. And the A's strand a runner in scoring position. No score, second inning. Bottom half of inning number 2. Josh Bell will lead off for the Guards. Ken Waldichuk pitched the scoreless first. He'll stay on to work the second. It looks like Luis Medina is up in the Oakland bullpen. He's scheduled to come on and pitch after Waldichuk. There he is, a right-hander.
Well, like you said, if he goes out there and he has a nice first inning, he did after he gave up the leadoff double. Send him back out there.
Guardians have 3 left-handed hitters due up here in the second before Miles Straw comes to bat. Josh Bell hitless in his last 10 at bats. That is a foul ball. That was right down the chalk.
And he's in foul territory. He jumped and it went right between his legs. So he had a pretty good look. Watch him. He's in foul territory. It's coming right at him. And he had to move that left foot out of the way.
Brock Ballou.
Good movement.
And the 2-2 to Bell. In off the plate with a fastball and a full count.
It was the shoes, Arch. It was the shoe. Gotta be.
He was in the right spot.
He moved just at the right time, too.
Bell lifts one to center. And Esteury Ruiz makes the catch, one down. Time to check out our FanDuel same game parlay. Stephen Kwan with a hit, check. Home run from Jose Ramirez. Guardians to win. Andres Jimenez comes in with a modest 4-game hitting streak. Way out in front of that breaking ball. It's 0-2. Jimenez had 5 hits in the 3 games in Oakland earlier this year, including a double and 3 runs batted in. Wow, he waved at that one. No match. 2 down.
That's that big sweeper coming down way out of the strike zone. You don't see a swing like this often from Jimenez against a left-hander. He usually stays in there very well. That'll be out number 2.
Fastball strike to Will Brennan. And a bouncer foul up the third base line.
So that's 5-0-2, 1-2 counts for Waldachek. He's doing what his manager wanted him to do.
Oh-2 hit hard up the alley in right center field. That'll plug the gap, go to the wall. Brennan on his way to second base, and he'll go in standing with a 2-out double. Second double of the game for the Guardians.
Yeah, and both of them off the bats are left-handers. So he's already going to make the move. It looks like Skipper's coming out. He's made the call. He was going to give him a chance, but he hung that breaking ball, and Brennan did a nice job of staying with it and plugs a gap in right center field. His 12th double, but the move has been made. So he got him 5 outs.
Guardians baseball brought to you by Levin. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight. And Spectrum One. Visit Spectrum.com for details. No score, bottom of the second inning. Guardians have a runner at second base with 2 down. Miles Straw will be the batter. And Luis Medina will be the new pitcher for Oakland. He's scheduled to give them 5-6 innings, whatever a starter would normally give you. That's what he's out here. He's gone anywhere from 80 to 90 pitches per outing so far this year. His last outing was 6 days ago, and that was a start against Tampa Bay in which he went 4 2/3 innings, 4 runs on 8 hits. He has not allowed a home run since May 28th.
Yeah, and in Houston, of course.
Miles Straw with 2 down and a runner in scoring position. Takes a high fastball. Right field near the line, but that's where Laureano was playing him. And an easy catch to end the inning. 2 complete, no score.
Well, the 5th 50-50 raffle presented by Bally Sports Great Lakes is on, and it'll run through July 9th, and that means through the All-Star break. So get in all the action. You can visit CLEGuardians.com 50-50. Right now, guaranteed jackpot of $75,000.
All right, here's Tony Kemp leading off the 3rd inning for Oakland, and Aaron Civale with a first pitch strike. Kemp comes in with a 4-game hitting streak. He's looking for anything he can hang his hat on because it's been a scuffle. Last 25 games, he has gone 6 for 54.
And you know, that surprises me because this guy was an action guy. You know, he can get his bat to the ball, he can bunt, he can run, he can do a number of things. It surprises me. When I saw him down in this spot, 8th in the lineup, he was up in the top of the lineup early in the year, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was leading off.
Yes,
yeah, that's what I thought.
But Arch, I think it goes back to the conversation we were having in the last inning about their offense. A lot of guys trying to do a little bit more than they probably should,
right? Because
they're not scoring a lot of runs.
Yeah, but this is a guy that's a table setter. He's been around. I mean, he can play left field. He's a good infielder. He can play the outfield.
They just flip-flop the order. Esteury Ruiz was batting at the bottom.
Yeah, right.
He's got 36 stolen bases.
Yeah.
And they were taking the pressure off of him early in the year. But it makes sense.
He already has more stolen bases than Ricky Henderson did to have his rookie year. That's amazing to me.
The 1-2 pitch high in the air. Left field slicing out of play. Just missed inside. He went to a fastball to try to lock him up.
That's a good pitch right there. You see, that's a 4-seamer that he wouldn't have been able to hit it. It's just a little in off the plate. And that'll make him conscious of that fastball inside. Does he follow it up with a hook? No, little cutter away.
Eighth pitch of the at-bat. And it's in the center field, a base hit for the light-hitting Tony Kemp.
You know, I was watching them stand. That front foot is in front of home plate. So he's going to make him throw it by you. And he tried, and he got ready for it. That was up there, 94 now for Civale. That's up there. But he left it upstairs. Kemp got on top of it and took advantage and got a base hit. Second hit for the A's.
You know, Arch, he had higher velocity his last start, too. He's getting up to 93, 94 as well. So he must be feeling good.
Lazy pop.
That's nice. One pitch, one out.
Naylor. One down. And a word now from Cleveland Clinic.
When their health needs a helping hand, put their care in hands you trust. Cleveland Clinic Children's.
And now back to the top of the order, and Esteury Ruiz, who has a hit in 5 straight games coming in. And during that 5-game hitting streak, he has a pair of multi-stolen base games.
Yeah, he is the man when it comes to that. 36. And you know what? When we saw him early in the year, and he was the hitting 9th, he still took some healthy cuts for a little guy. Remember, we were talking about it like that. He'd lose his helmet, and you're going, "Holy smokes, this guy's swinging it." He's not afraid to get after it. There's the little slider.
But if you remember, when he hits them, he hits some doubles. He can hit the gaps.
Yes.
He can go.
Yeah, this is going to be an exciting young player.
Bounced in front of the plate. Kemp holding at first base. Well, one thing about Ruiz, He's going to set the A's all-time stolen base record for a rookie. Mitchell Page holds that at 42. Esteury Ruiz already has 36.
Adam Lehman.
But he is got his sights set on something a little bigger than that. And that's the record set by Kenny Lofton.
Ooh.
That's the American League single season rookie set back in 1992 when Kenny stole 66 bases. Good luck.
Well, he's at a good pace.
He's
right
at
now.
a great pace, yes, but he's got to stay healthy. And
yeah,
in that leadoff spot, though, that'll be good for him because you'll get 4 at-bats a game.
Now, the record was Jose Reyes, I believe, in 07 with 78, Matt, in the National League. That's a lot of stolen bases for a rookie. I didn't think rookies were stealing that many bases. Anybody was stealing that many bases in 2007.
Runner goes, 2-2 pitch, hit in the air to right field. It's going to get down. Kemp can't find the ball. He does in time to make his way to third base.
Pretty good piece of hitting there.
A's have some action now.
And with Kemp running, he lost the ball. He heard it, the crack of the bat a little too late to pick it up, but it was behind him. So that's where your third base coach can help you. That's a nice swing on a breaking ball. See, he looked late, but he kept running, and now he picks it up and says, I got to dig, but not really. That was well done by those two.
Ryan Noda flied out his only time up.
Let's see how long it takes him.
To first, Naylor leaps up. His only play is at first, and the A's lead it 1-0. Give Ryan Noda his 27th run batted in.
I think Noda realized that if I don't give him a pitch, he's going to take off. He hit one, and the only thing Naylor could do was just put it in the pocket and tag the bag.
Brent Rooker called out on strikes his only time up. Good breaking ball off the plate, and Rooker's in the hole 0-2. Oh, did he hold up? I guess he did. He had the wheels in motion. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Swung out and missed. He strikes him out to end the inning. 4 punch outs for Aaron Civale, but Oakland lands the first punch. 1-0. 1-0. Oakland leads it as we move to the bottom of the third, and Bo Naylor will lead it off for the Guardians. Looking for that first major league hit. Fastball missing outside. Bo was the first round pick of the Guardians back in 18, the 29th overall selection in that draft. He played the first 60 games this year for AAA Columbus, where he batted .253, 13 homers, 12 doubles, 48 runs batted in. Big brother Josh intently watching as the 1-1 pitch is fouled away. Oh, will take his 2-strike timeout here. breaking ball down and in. Strikes him out. 1 down.
Looks like a pretty nice curveball here after throwing 96 away. There it is, the hook, and that went from a strike to a ball in a hurry. You'll see the spin. 12-6. Boom, where it swings right over the top.
Top of the order. And Stephen Kwan takes that same curveball for a strike. Kwan has now hit in 4 straight games, 7 out of his last 16. Center field. Ruiz making the catch, 2 down.
Well, 10,000 fans will receive a trucker cap. That'll be courtesy of MLB Network Thursday afternoon when the Guardians wrap up the series against the A's. It'll be a 1:10 start. Visit CLEGuardians.com/tickets.
That's a fair ball down the right field line. Over to cut it off is Laureano. And Ahmed Rosario with a 2-out single.
He let that one track deep and put he got a nice level swing on this and shot it down the right field line. Elevated. Look at that's pretty right there. Off the bag, they're protecting the hole. A lot of times you may get a double on that, but that right fielder was playing him on the line.
I was just going to say, watch where Laureano was playing him. He was playing Straw almost on the line as well. That may come back a little bit later if they can hit up in that gap, especially for Rosario.
Yeah, well, he's throwing 96, but I like that swing Rosario had. It was nice and short, and it was level.
He runs the fastball in off the plate to Jose Ramirez. There's a line drive into center field for Jose Ramirez. And back-to-back 2-out singles here in the third for the Guardians.
Well, another line drive. That was a changeup. He left it middle of the plate, and Jose stayed back nicely. A line drive to center field, and now you've got 2 outs, but you got the hot hitter up in an RBI situation.
And Josh Naylor called out on strikes his first time up. But that was against the left-hander Ken Waldichuk. This is his first look at the righty Luis Medina. First pitch changeup fouled away.
You know, Arch, today Tito kind of simplified why he thinks Josh Naylor's hitting the ball so well. He says, look at the 3 or 4 swings he took in the first game in Arizona. He said they looked at it and he swung at 7 balls that weren't strikes. He said when he takes his nice healthy cut against balls that are in the strike zone, you saw nothing but hits. And that's really the conversation with him. Swing at strikes and be patient.
Well, he knows that, but he gets caught. But he stepped out the one time. He had the one bad day. That was his bad day. What? He struck out 3 times and ended his hitting streak.
Yes.
And then ended up coming back and settling in.
And if you remember when the hit streak stopped, he hit a ball hard up the middle and was robbed. His last at bat after those 3 strikeouts. Had a tough day the next day, and he came right back and kept hitting.
Well, he's been using the whole field, you know, down the left field line in the gaps.
When you guys said in the open, since May 12th, only one guy's got a better batting average to me, and it's Arise, who seems to have 5 hits every other night. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, he's been on an extended roll, and I mean with the RBIs too, not necessarily hitting home runs, but clutch hits.
Two on, 2 out. Guardians down a run here. Bottom of the third in the 2-2 pitch. Fouled off to the left. Productivity has been the real key for Josh Naylor, though. 44 runs knocked in his last 42 games. Team starving for offense. He's been the go-to guy. jammed him. Nice pitch, got in on him. And that will end the inning. Guardians get 2 hits, but they leave 2 stranded. And after 3, it's Oakland 1, Cleveland 0. Guardians Live presented by your Northern Ohio GMC dealers. Tomorrow night, 6:30, Al Pawlowski, Ellis Burks will get you ready for the middle game of this 3-game series. Oakland leads 1-0 as we go to the 4th. Seth Brown leading it off, struck out his only time up, and he's way out in front of that pitch, strike 1. And that did not take long for Aaron Civale to pick up his 5th strikeout. Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Right-hander Hunter Green, big, strong, young phenom going on the IL with a hip injury. Bad news for a Reds club that has won 9 in a row and taken over the top spot in the NL Central.
They did get Joey Votto back,
I was going to say.
Yeah, so they want Hunter Green back. Over here on the Guardian side, Tristan McKenzie is going to most likely not throw for a month after he was looked at by the team doctor. He thinks he's going to be around there. Then he's going to try to throw, and they're going to go from there on what's the next steps for him. He's hoping to pitch again this year, but there's no guarantee with that. Also, Cal Quantrill will throw about 40 pitches tomorrow down in Arizona, Arch. And then on Friday, he will go to Columbus and throw about 65 pitches in a game. And he's hoping, he didn't even want to go to Columbus. He wanted to come right back into rotation. But they're hoping after Friday they can possibly be back with the big league club.
All righty. 2-1 pitch, a swing and a miss. Jace Peterson fly to left. His only time up.
12 swings and misses for Civale so far. We're in the top of the 4th.
Had him out front. And that will be out number 2. It comes up Aledmus Diaz.
Now approaching the plate for Oakland, the shortstop.
Diaz, a 2-out double in the 2nd inning.
He got the breaking ball, the curveball that stayed upstairs, and he was able to drill it down the line to beat Jose on his backhand. Always been a free swinger.
Diaz, you'll notice, has mismatched gloves, batting gloves, one red, one blue. A lot of people thought in his career early on that was maybe a tribute to his homeland of Cuba. But it turns out it's a message to his 6-year-old son, Nathan, who has autism. It's a personal message that he sends in that basically saying it's okay to be different. And he plans on doing that the rest of his career. 1-2-3 go the A's here in the 4th. It's 1-0 Oakland. Nothing Oakland, bottom of the 4th inning. Josh Bell, Andres Jimenez, and Will Brennan due up. Louis Medina. This is with a fastball high.
Matt, Rick, I've had a coach and a player come back over here and they say, wait a minute, this guy has a 7 ERA? How?
Well, he's throwing 97, as you can see.
Yeah.
But, you know, if he's around the zone and he's got a nice curveball, and I've seen a good changeup
too. That's what they're saying. He's got 3 good pitches.
You know, it makes me shake my head and wonder, you know, why couldn't they start him?
Right.
But, I mean, they know their team much better than we do. We're just looking from afar. But when you throw like this guy does it.
I'm telling you, the players over here are all going.
That's why right there.
You got
he's got, you know, at times control issues. 18 walks in his first 39 innings. That doesn't help when you walk guys, you give up a hit, and all of a sudden it turns into a rally.
Well, young, and you have to. That's how you learn. Getting in the zone, and as Carl Willis said tonight, starting the show, you got to control the tempo in your game. Strike one is awfully important because then hitters have to expand, and he started them off with a changeup.
And what Carl was saying, no matter how good you are, and he was saying that about the whole staff. He goes, I don't want to pinpoint one guy. If you don't control the count, nobody.
It makes it tough
wins.
on everybody.
Yes, he goes, I don't care what kind of stuff you have. If you're 1-0, 2-0 constantly, and 3-2 constantly, hitters are going to hit you.
Yeah, you're in trouble. They're going to get you. But that's been the MO of this staff for years. You know, strike one, let's go. You control the at bat. You see, sometimes when what he did there, tried to reach back and get a little more 1-2. Okay, if you're 0-2, you can do that. But he'd be just as fine if he maintains that 97 and locates it, and then came back with that breaking ball inside.
Yeah, in his 39 innings coming into today, 18 walks, 45 hits, and then 10 home runs. And you see how that ERA ends up at 7.5. Bounced the curveball in front of the plate. Jimenez trying to get the Guardians going here in the fourth. They had a leadoff double in the first, but nothing after that. Since then, they've had 3 2-out hits, but unable to generate a run yet. And a swing and a miss, another strikeout.
Check out the grip. There it is, that circle change. Well done. It has that movement going down, and he stayed on top of that ball nicely. It ended up out of the strike zone. We haven't talked about it yet, but the guy behind the plate, Langeliers, he's thrown out the most base stealers of anybody in baseball. He's thrown out 22 guys. But you've got to have a base runner or a base stealer on to try and do something in this situation. Good fastball in.
There's your Hyundai in the driver's seat, or our Kia player profile.
There you go. Most caught stealing. 22. We saw Moreno in the desert. He had 14.
I was just going to say, you say this game goes in cycles. What are the chances you see these guys back-to-back series?
I know it.
Two down. Miles Straw flied to right, his only time up. Medina's 2-1 pitch hit the mound, and a nice break for the A's as Diaz able to field it cleanly and end the inning. 4 complete, 1-0 Oakland.
Well, the 23 Scott's MLB All-Star ballot is now open. Vote daily at MLB.com/vote to decide who represents the Guardians this summer.
Bottom third of the order for Oakland here in inning number 5. They lead 1-0. Ramon Laureano leading off, struck out his only time up. Takes ball 1 outside.
Slowed it down a little bit and kept this one down, and he went after it. He was able to lay off the first one, which is 2 miles an hour faster, but this one had a little more break and it teased him, and he swung and missed.
Civale well over 70%. Throwing strikes here tonight. Falls behind 2-1. And that curveball, a good one.
Boy, was it ever. This is how he pitches. He's got to pitch to both parts of the plate and change speeds, and he's been doing that.
And now a full count. Just missed outside. First walk issued by Civale.
Tell you what, though, that was a comeback fastball. It came back, but just not quite enough. It was just off the plate, but a pretty good try.
Tony Kemp led off the third with a single and scored the only run of this game. Looks like he needs his timeout before the at-bat even started. Broke his bat and popped him straight up behind the plate.
Stay in.
Bo Naylor to the screen. Can't get to it. Kemp goes for another bat.
Andre, from your angle, can you see his front foot? Is it in front of the plate?
Bounce foul over into the Oakland dugout.
Laureano at first base has 8 stolen bases, has yet to be caught, but Civale's pretty quick, and you know, I'm watching him get his lead. It doesn't look like he's trying. He's going to give Kemp an opportunity. Yes. Ooh.
Yeah, struck him out looking.
Late call.
That's 6 Ks for Aaron Civale.
That looked good. It was good. Right there on the outside edge.
Shane Langoliers popped up on the infield his only time up back in the 3rd inning. Line drive single into left field. Haven't been a lot of those lately. He's just 3 for his last 25 now after that base hit.
You'll see the little spin, and he got it, stayed back on it over the head of Rosario. So he will get the 4th hit for Oakland. Now they got 1st and 2nd, getting back to the top of the lineup for the 3rd time.
Esteury Ruiz singled in the 3rd inning. Foul back over the screen. Fouled over into the Guardians dugout area.
Man almost made a nice play right there, standing up off the bench.
Freddie got good hands, but that one might have hurt.
Yeah, it's stinging. He's upset he didn't catch it.
Come on, Freddie. Got to make the play.
He knows.
Oh, they know. They look right down here. They know.
Off to the right, out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Catcher's interference. Another one.
That's going to be on Bo Naylor, and that's going to load the bases now for Oakland.
Let's see it. Yes, it sure did.
Well, just make that a part of the list of what Sandy Alomar will be working with
Bo
Naylor on.
I mean, that's, I think, our 4th catcher's interference this year.
It is. He was asked, Sandy was asked earlier in the game what he thought of Bo, and he said, versus what? He goes, he's a rookie. There's a lot that we still need to work on with him. He's very talented. He goes, but we're going to be working a lot with him because there's some things up here that he's got to do that he hasn't been asked to do prior to being in the big leagues.
Right.
Right to Josh Naylor. Double play. Inning over. No problem, little brother. I got your back. And they're out of trouble here in the 5th. Halfway through, Oakland 1, Cleveland nothing. One nothing, Oakland on top, bottom of the 5th inning. Bo Naylor will lead it off for the Guardians.
He saw some high fastballs and then the breaking ball to put him away in his first at bat.
.97 pumped it by him on the outside part of the plate.
That's a pitch. If you're going to hit it, you're going to have to take it to left field.
Popped in the air that way. Charging in Brown. He makes the running catch for out number 1.
Well, it's another Sugardale Dollar Dog Night and Free Shirt Friday. That'll be courtesy of Phantom Fireworks when the Guardians will take on the Brew Crew. Get to the game early for a $2 pregame in the district. That'll be presented by Miller Lite, and then stay after for fireworks presented by Krylon.
Top of the order, Stephen Kwan. He doubled in the first, fly to center in the 3rd. To third base, Peterson throws out Kwan, 2 down. And a word here from Northern Ohio GMC.
Step up to GMC with 1.9% APR and no monthly payments for 90 days on 2023 Terrain models.
.98-mile-an-hour fastball upstairs. Rosario 1 for 2. He singled just inside the bag off of Medina back in the third inning.
I was going to say that's probably why that ball, that first pitch, was inside to him, to get him from not leaning out over the plate, because he hit a ball away, but he let it track deep into the zone. And Laureano is very, I mean, that's even more than a left-handed pull hitter where he is playing in right.
Going that way, but it's off to the right and out of play.
Arch, I know he hits the ball that way, but look at the gap in right center, and now he can run.
I can see it, and Ruiz is way over in right center field. The left center field's a gap.
Yeah.
So if he hangs him a slider, he can hit it there. If he hangs it, like
he
that.
did. Deep left field. Back goes Brown. It's over his head and off the wall. And into second base with a 2-out double is Ahmed Rosario. Guardians' second double of the night.
See, that's where you risk it. If you hang a pitch, then he ended up pulling that even more because he didn't get it away. But that was a big mistake, the way that defense is playing.
But as you always say, if you're going to play defense like that, that's on the pitcher then, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's his fault. He knows it's a bad pitch, and the hitter made him pay because they're playing him the other way. I mean, he's got to get that breaking ball down and away or off the plate.
Now Jose Ramirez, who can pull the ball, and Laureano's not quite over as far as he was.
Yeah,
or Rosario.
Right. And he's still in a pull mode.
Yeah.
So true. There you'll see how the setup is.
Jose smacked the changeup to center field his first time up against Medina. That was in the third inning. And that fastball bounced to second. And the inning is over. 5 in the books. It's Oakland 1, Cleveland nothing. 9. 1-0 is our score as we go to the 6th inning, so it's dropped down to 4.5. Brent Rooker will lead off for Oakland. He has struck out twice in the ball game. And a ground ball to third. Jose Ramirez gathers and throws, and it's in time. 1 away. Well, here's our Spectrum Mobile replay. Aaron Civale has allowed 1 run on just 4 hits and has struck out 6 Oakland hitters.
Yeah, a steady diet of like cutters, curve balls. He's mixed in some nice 4-seamers, trying to get him to go after it. He's been typical Civale out there. Walked 1, struck out 6. Gave up 1 run in the third inning, and there was a couple of singles. Aaron with 10 outs on 3 pitches or less tonight.
And a big bouncer to second base, 2 down. You mentioned earlier that both Oakland and Cleveland came in to this game leading the way in Major League Baseball. 68%, or maybe a fraction below that.
Right.
68% of their hits have been singles this year. And yet what's crazy is that the Guardians have more extra base hits than Oakland, even though the A's have out-homered Cleveland by 22.
Yeah, I mean, you look at those numbers, they are crazy. And Oakland with 101 doubles, got 128. We got 15 triples. They have 7.
They did 68 homers. The Guardians have hit 46.
You know, and the key there is you can't fall behind when you hit a lot of singles. Now, you need homers when you fall behind a ball club more than a couple of runs, especially if it's early in the game and you have a chance to come back. It's tough to get 3-4 hits every inning just to get one run.
A little low and another walk. That's only his second, but second in as many innings.
That's a pretty patient at bat by Peterson right there. He was down in the count. He got it to a 3-2, and then he was patient. And a lot of times hitters want to swing the bat. They don't want to walk.
Well, it's weird. I mentioned earlier Peterson's streaky. 1 for his last 18 right now. And that followed an 11-game hitting streak. Prior to that, he had gone 1 for 16.
Yeah. That's how you can get your way out of slumps. So is taking pitches to take your walk if need be, and if you're not swinging it very good, you can go 0 for 3 or 0 for 2 instead of taking games like that.
Aledmus Diaz swings and pops it up. Rosario out there. The shortstop is under it, and the side is retired. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Still 1-0 Oakland. 1-0 Oakland on top. Bottom of the 6th inning. Josh Naylor leading it off for Cleveland. He is 0 for 2. Swings at the first pitch. And just like that, it's 0-2. Naylor called out on strikes to end the first with a runner in scoring position. 2 on in the third and popped up to third base to end that frame. Now leading off here in the 6th. Thou shalt not pass.
Yes, indeed. He's not letting it go. He'll take his time out here.
Struck him out. That was 100 miles an hour, but it was nowhere near the strike zone. Time for a Ken Ganley Kia game break. Here's Al Pawlowski.
All right, Matt. Arch Andre, the legend of Vela de la Cruz, grows. Second home run of the season right here for the Reds. And the legend of the Cincinnati Reds grows. They've won 9 straight. They're trying to make it 10. They're up 5-2 on the Rockies. 5th inning, fellas.
Josh Bell taking a curveball strike from Luis Medina. Missed with a changeup. Yeah, Cincinnati just otherworldly right now, surging to the top of the Central Division standings in the National League. It's kind of like what we've been talking about in the AL Central.
Exactly.
If anybody gets hot, they can really kind of take over the division.
But can they stay hot? In Cincinnati, that now they have 38 wins, looking for 39. Minnesota has 36. I mean, it's both Central divisions.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Medina, 2 down here in the 6th.
And in both of these divisions, maybe this just is who these teams are. Right?
Well,
I mean, we're at
Tito
that point,
said.
right?
I mean, your record is who it says that's who you are.
And I look at the whole Central, and as you said, I don't know if anybody can stay hot with what we've seen so far. But probably whoever plays the best, 20, 30 games go 20 and 10.
Yeah,
you probably got
well, either that or wait till September, because that's about the next time we get back into our division.
That's true. So you're saying hang close till you get back to the division?
Yeah, you almost have to. I mean, we're finally going to get to. We haven't faced Kansas City yet. We're going there on the next road trip.
But we're going to see them a lot. I saw those letters in the pre.
Oh yeah,
I see the KC
You've
letters.
done your
up
homework.
There. Yeah, a little bit. We're going to see them a lot over the next month or so, give or take.
Fouled away.
This kid's starting to get loose. He's getting up there 99 to 100 now.
Well, this kid was one of the key pieces in that trade. Last year, Oakland traded Frankie Montas and reliever Lou Trevino to the Yankees for Medina, Ken Waldichuk, who was the opener, and J.P. Sears, who's going to pitch the series finale.
Oh, that bounced and hit him, huh?
Evidently it did.
Okay.
A's are saying, hold on a second, we might want to look at this. Mark Kotze asking his video guy, saying no thank you.
Yeah, and Jimenez is the one that said it bounced and hit me, and he just started to take off his stuff. Yeah, right off his leg. Sure did. That spin on it catches him in the leg. He'll take first base.
So another 2-out base runner.
I say get out there, get a lead. If you get a chance, go. He's pretty quick, though, for a big man.
Out goes Shea Langoliers.
Yeah, he's going to get together with him. He doesn't want him to rush or do anything like that. He says, I'll take care of you, pal. You just, hold him pretty close and we'll go. I'll get him.
Guardians got out quick where the stolen bases are concerned, but their run game is kind of stalled out with just the general offensive malaise.
Well, if you get behind in games, and they've been behind a lot, you can't run. You can't make outs on bases.
The 2-0. And Brennan follows the 95-mile-an-hour fastball back.
It's all right. He got after it, though. 2-0. He took a nice, healthy cut on it. But that's a fastball up. And, Brennan's a better low ball hitter, but you got to try to get on top of it. He just took, he took something off just to get it in the zone.
And that will find the netting. Sam Moll, left-hander, up, getting loose. Rockies have two left-handed Sams in the bullpen. Sam Moll and Sam Long. The 2-2 bounced up the gut, and that's cut off by Diaz. Inning over, 6 in the books. It's still Oakland 1, Cleveland nothing.
See a discount drug mart on Saturday against the Brewers. Get to the game early. $2 pregame in the district, presented by Miller Lite, and stay for the postgame concert featuring Walk the Moon.
Fastball strike from Aaron Savali to Ramon Laureano, who struck out on the second walk to lead off the 5th inning. But that's when Savali got a lift from his defense. Oakland had loaded the bases with 1 out. And Ryan Noda hit a line drive right into the mitt of first baseman Josh Naylor, who stepped on the bag for an inning-ending double play. Sam Hentges now getting loose for Cleveland as Savali is about to make his 90th pitch of the night. Left field, back goes Kwan, gathers it in, one away. You may have heard recently that last Tuesday, Oakland fans staged what they called a reverse boycott. Upset over the news that the club's ownership was going to relocate the club to Las Vegas. Fans got together and they drew almost 30,000 fans for that game against Tampa. Greg Korn, who works in the communications department for Oakland, told us the atmosphere was incredible. He said it was just like a playoff game, if not better, because every fan there was invested from a passion standpoint. There's a ball deep right field. Kemp has just left the building. That's just his second home run of the year. And it's 2-0 Oakland.
Well, he stayed back on that curveball, I believe it was. And that might have been down in his wheelhouse because he's not a home run hitter, but he got that one good enough. One swing, another run. That's his second hit of the night, and he scored both the runs. Take a look. Curveball, boom, down and in. Lefty's delight. And you can see the look on Civale's face. He's unhappy.
Shea Langoliers sends one to center. Straw turned his back. Racing back, get there in time to make the catch. 2 down.
Stepping in now for Oakland, the leadoff hitter, center fielder.
Hyundai in the driver's seat.
Ruiz.
36 bags for the young rookie.
Art, you notice all those names are all real young players?
Yeah.
Stolen base game is not the old man's game anymore.
No.
There's no more Rickies around.
Well, it's starting to come back, though.
It is. You don't see a lot of older players that are stealing bases.
No. You know what? They can't steal bases now. Yeah, I mean, your time, you come up and you steal what you have to steal in the first 7 or 8 years, and after that, it beats your body up. Steal them when you need them. That's the key.
Think about the kid in Atlanta. He's already got 30. And you know he's got a chance to hit 30 home runs. Acuna may really have a chance to go 40-40. He's already at 30 stolen bases.
Yeah, he's a different bird.
He's special, yeah.
Yeah, he's something that doesn't come along too often.
I want to say he has 15 home runs coming into tonight.
And he's not a very big guy.
No.
He just generates the bat speed. And boy, can he hit him a long way. We'll get a chance to see him here this year.
Can't wait. My son told me today.
Next homestand, right?
My son's already geared up for that one. Yeah, he has 15 home runs. The surprising one is Albies has 17. Olsen has 20 now. That's Braves team is something else.
Boy, they're laying off some tough pitches when he gets to 2 strikes. They're taking them. They're just off the plate. But they're making them work now. Good pitch. No.
The 100th pitch of the night. That's going to be the end of the line for Aaron Civale. 6 2/3 innings of work. And he will leave on the short end of a 2-0 score here in the 7th. Sam Hentges coming on when we come back. Cleveland Guardians baseball brought to you by Chevrolet. Check out the award-winning lineup at your local Chevy dealer. Union Home Mortgage, promises kept, and Medical Mutual, official health insurer of everything you love. Sam Hentges is the new Guardians pitcher. Runner at first, 2 down here in the 7th. Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen made for the big lefty, who is a .293 ERA in 15 appearances. 14 strikeouts in his 15 and a third innings of work.
Well, now we'll see if Ruiz is going to try and go. He's on the face the left-hander. See what kind of move, and he's going to have to read it. You know, a lot of times if you don't a base stealer doesn't know you as a left-hander, you don't want to show him too many times throwing to first base. You're better off just going to the plate with the natural movement, and it may go.
Ruiz running. Bo Naylor throwing. Not in time.
Yeah, you can see he just took off, and you knew he was going to go early. 2 outs. They've got a lead. You got to try it now. Base hit can get him another run, but he had a very good jump, and look at how quick. His head was down. Good read. You steal it on the pitcher there. Nothing Bo could do.
37 steals, only been caught 7 times. Right field, pretty routine play. Brennan runs in and makes the catch. Stretch time in Cleveland. It's now Oakland 2, Cleveland nothing. 7th inning. Guardians have Miles Straw, Bo Naylor, Stephen Kwan coming up. Fastball took off up high.
Medina, 68 pitches, 45 of those have been strikes. He's throwing the ball well.
Line drive, base hit, Miles Straw. He's going to turn and look hard at second base. He's going to go for it, and the throw is not in time. That's just a straight hustle double right out of the box for Miles Straw, his 11th two-bagger of the year.
Well, as he rounded the base, boy, he took a look up and says, I'm going to go. He didn't hesitate. He came out of the box. He knew it had a chance to get in that hole. He never took his eye off it. He sees the base, and he's going to keep on going. In comes the throw from Ruiz, and not in time. There you see the hand gets into the bag. Good hustle to get himself in scoring position, and that's going to do it for Medina.
11th double of the year for Miles Straw. He's in scoring position. Guardians will bring the tying run to the plate as Mark Kotsay makes a move for a left-hander. It'll be Sam Moll when we return. Of the Cleveland Guardians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Guardians. Two 2-0 Oakland on top. Guardians trying to make some noise here in the 7th inning. Miles Straw with a leadoff double. It's their 4th double of the game. They had a leadoff double in the 1st, a 2-out double in the 2nd, and a 2-out double in the 5th. Now another leadoff double here in inning number 7. Sam Moll, 32nd appearance of the year on in relief. Bo Naylor will be coming up, then Stephen Kwan.
Well, he's been okay in the month of June, a .270 ERA, but that's in 7 games. Has allowed 4 or 5 inherited runners to score this month, and first batters faced, they're 5 for 6. So that's what the Guardians are looking for here. Get that inherited runner in, and hopefully it comes from the first guy that's doing the job.
And a fastball, actually a breaking ball. He just kind of slid off the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
This is where he's got to remain patient, make him come to him. He knows he's trying to do the job of pulling the ball, but you can't chase the pitches out of the zone.
Oh. That puts him in the hole, 1-2. Low fastball fouled away. Just low, 2-2.
Pretty good take right there. That had the plate. It was just a little low.
And he struck him out with a breaking ball. 1 down.
Really took something off here, and you want to see it. He started it behind him, and that was a big breaking ball. 83 miles per hour and ends up out of the zone, but you can see him how up front he was.
Guardians now 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Kwon this one to left. That'll make it 0 for 8. 2 down.
To the plate now, 21 shortstop, Ahmed Rosario.
Fastball misses up high.
He's pumping fastballs to him. Ahmed, that one was a little low, but he was looking for it, so he got after it. Down in the count 1-2 now. Seems to me he's been sitting on the breaking ball out of those first 3 pitches.
Bouncing ball wide of third in the hole. That'll score Miles Straw, and the Guardians are on the board. Ahmed Rosario gets the Guardians off the schneid with a 2-out RBI single. It's his 3rd straight hit in the ballgame.
All coming with 2 outs. This time he stayed with the fastball. He wanted it in, but he didn't get it in enough. Ball left it down the middle. He took advantage of it and found that hole between short and third. And they're on the board. It's now a 2-1 ball game.
You know, for all of his struggles offensively this year, Ahmed Rosario is batting well over 300 with runners in scoring position. And he's now 9 for 18 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs.
Yeah, he's got 3 2-out hits tonight.
Jose pops one foul. That'll go into the seats.
That straw run will be charged to Medina. So the inherited runner does score.
That missed outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Breaking ball in there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Arcatze's club leads by a run. Tying run at first. Jose Ramirez at the plate. Back into the seats. The way Rosario runs, if Ramirez, with 2 outs especially, can plug a gap, he's got a great chance of scoring.
Yeah, and that outfield is playing very deep as well, all the way around, left, right, and center.
That's a smash right at him, and it gets by him. Brown dove for the ball. The tying run's going to score. The go-ahead run into second base. Jose Ramirez delivers, and Seth Brown tried to be the hero, and an ill-advised dive cost him dearly.
Yeah, and I don't think he got the greatest jump on this ball. And, you know, when you don't know and the game's on the line, you have a lead, you got to make sure if you're going to get after it, you got to keep it in front of you. He was going to score no matter what, even if he does knock it down. But he was going for the catch to try and end the inning. It got by him. Now you put the winning run in scoring position. That ball just got under his glove. And now a chance for Naylor to give the Guardians a lead. So Jose with his 20th double, his 44th RBI. And that's a new ball game. How about that?
Sometimes it's hard to do in real time. But as an outfielder, once you hesitate, you just stop, right?
Yeah, but yes. But he thought he could catch that ball, and the thing he didn't catch it because remember we just said he was playing so deep because they were trying to play that no doubles defense. If he was playing normal, he probably would have caught that ball. That's one where it hurts you, and he didn't get a really good jump on it.
The no doubles defense turned that into a double.
And yes, it did.
Josh Naylor has made the most of his RBIs this year. 24 of his 53 have come from the 7th inning on.
This is the 7th, so it'll be a good time for another one.
Chop to the second baseman. Kemp throws him out. The Guardians get off the deck here in the 7th inning. 3 hits, 2 doubles, 2 big 2-out RBI hits, and we're tied. This inning is presented by Energizer. Brent Rooker leading off for Oakland. 0 for 3 tonight. Sam Hentges. He got the last out of the 7th. He's got Rooker, then back-to-back left-handed hitters. Trevor Stephan is up in the bullpen if needed. bullseye with a fastball strike. 1-2.
Matty, when the Red Sox were here, I thought I saw Nomar Garciaparra. Now I feel like I'm seeing a young Mark McGwire with the 25 and tall. I mean, you look at those long legs. He's like Mark McGwire a little bit when he first came up. And Rooker's had a pretty good season. He kind of got rid of our old friend that hurt us when we were in Oakland, Jesus.
Yeah, Aguilar was let go, yes.
Yeah, because this kid has been hitting the ball all over the park.
Swing and a miss. Sam Hentges takes care of him. Rooker strikes out for the third time tonight. One gone in the 8th. This is our Energizer player profile. Stark contrast between the two bullpens. Now Seth Brown 0 for 3.
That was one of the big things for Tito and Carl coming into the series. The day off yesterday and after the weekend or week that the bullpen had, he just said we had to reset everybody and kind of make sure everybody was feeling normal after what they went through on that last road trip.
Seth Brown pinch hitting. Jose Ramirez just robbed him of a hit and extra bases for sure. Dynamite play at the hot corner.
Yeah, that's an automatic double. But Jose jumps up and leaps and catches it right into the webbing. A nice play, well timed. That takes extra base hits away. So that is out number 2.
I think that new haircut helped him out there, Matt. Got him up off the air. I don't think people realize how hard that ball's hit and how quickly that happens.
Yeah, that's a reactionary position right there, and he was playing back, and that was good because he smoked it.
Jace Peterson trying to bunt. Fouled it off. Jose says with 1 strike, I don't think he's going to try to bunt again, so I'm going to back up. If Peterson gets aboard, we'll probably see Stephan.
Boy, how about that? 0-2. Looked like it might have been a slider there. 0-2. He kept his hands back enough. There you'll see it coming out. That's a slider. And he left it up a little bit.
You see Sam yelling.
Yeah, he's yelling at it. He knew he didn't locate it. He had him down in the count, but he gave him a pitch to hit, and he took advantage of it, and that's going to do it for Sam.
So Tito will go to Trevor Stephan, the righty-righty matchup when we come back. Oakland has the go-ahead run aboard with 2 out here in the 8th inning. Stephan 3 wins, 2 losses, an earned run average of 2.40 in his 31 appearances.
Stephan has 3 of 4 inherited runners stranded. And now this guy at first base, now Peterson, keep your eye on him. 9 out of 10. He is stolen. And this is a guy that they've been able to run on recently is Stephan. So we'll see if they put the wheels in motion. They have 1 stolen base tonight. That came back in the 7th inning with 2 outs.
Runner goes, and the ball is slashed foul off to the right.
Had a pretty good jump, but he liked the pitch, so he took a hack at it and fouled it off. I tell you, Diaz is an aggressive hitter. He doesn't like to spot the pitch or anything. But they had that in mind. They were going to try and get that extra 90 feet.
You can like to pitch all you want, but if you're not a power hitter and you know you got a guy that's got it, you've got to give him a pitch late in the game like this.
Well, you would think so, but you know, hitters don't do that anymore.
Not running, ball in the dirt.
And that's what I was saying. I think that first pitch was a breaking ball as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's even a better idea or a better clue that you give him an opportunity when it's slowing down. That's what you're trying. That's what the skipper's trying to do here.
But Arch, Matt's saying, just forget all that. As a hitter, if I see the situation, I want to hit with the guy at second base.
But they think they got to swing. I'm telling you, they see a guy go, and they do. That's how hitters are.
Sometimes panic sets in, right?
Yeah. They don't know if they missed something. Look, he's just trying to steal a base for you to get a base hit to drive him in. Is the point?
Yeah, you got a better chance hitting a single with him on second, getting an RBI, than hitting it out of the ballpark.
In tight, off the plate, 3-1.
Well, he hasn't gone yet since that first pitch. So they tried it, and he says, okay, he figures he's going to swing again. Now you got a 3-1 pitch. Let's see how patient he is.
He swings, and it's a weak pop-up, and that will end the inning. So we'll go to the bottom of the 8th with the score: Cleveland 2, Oakland 2. KeyBank keep playing the game. Bottom of the 7th inning, Miles Straw leads it off with a double. And then after Bo Naylor struck out, Stephen Kwan fly to left. Ahmed Rosario chopped one in the hole. Next scored Straw. And then Jose Ramirez. A line drive, a sinking liner, a hesitation by Brown. The ball gets by him. Rosario scores the tying run, and it's 2-2 now here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Oakland goes back to their bullpen. The other Sam left-hander. This is Sam Long. He's on to face the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for Cleveland. Meanwhile, Carlos Perez, who just pinch hit for Seth Brown, goes into first base. And Ryan Noda, who was at first base, is now your new left fielder. Josh Bell 0 for 2 with a walk will lead it off. Curveball strike to Josh Bell. And a good fastball in there for a strike.
Long has faced the Guardians one time. That was last year, April 17th here in Cleveland. Went an inning, had one strikeout. Clase getting loose.
Fastball in off the plate. Back up the middle, and it gets through. Josh Bell with the leadoff single for the Guardians here in the 8th inning. And we're going to pinch runners. Tyler Freeman will come on to run for Bell.
Bell just, that one looked like it got down near the trademark, but they were playing him over a little bit more. Gets up the middle past Diaz to get that go-ahead run at first base. Freeman running now. Jimenez the hitter. You've got two left-handers here. Do you bunt him in this situation? I wish he could make contact, but you could start the runner trying to hit and run instead of giving up an out.
Took a fastball right down the middle of the plate. Swings at the slider off the plate, and he's in the hole 0-2. Sam Long was originally a draft pick of the Tampa Bay Rays. 18th round pick back in 2016. 2 years later, he was released by Tampa, signed on with the White Sox as a free agent. Then signed on with the San Francisco Giants as a free agent. And now with Oakland.
Yeah, that would be your main concern right there if a lefty has that step-off move. I'm sure Sandy has it in mind, and he's already told Freeman that's what you got to be careful for.
He lays off the high heat.
That might have been a show pitch to him. Just showing him that fastball away to get him lean out over the plate.
Center field. Ruiz going back makes the catch. 1 down. Gonna bring up Will Brennan, 1 for 3 tonight. Brennan doubled off the left-hander Ken Waldichuk way back in the 2nd inning. He was 0 for 2 against the right-hander Luis Medina. Shea Langoliers wants to go out and talk it over with Long. Langoliers took over as the primary catcher for Oakland this year after they traded Sean Murphy to Atlanta. Fastball by him. And the 0-2 is fouled back. Freeman back with a dive.
What you got to be ready for here if you're Freeman is just keep your eye on that breaking ball if he throws it in the dirt. And Langoliers maybe, blocks it and it rolls away. Be heads up on that.
Kemp going out, tough play.
Oh my goodness! What
did he catch that? Yes, he did. My goodness, that was incredible.
Unbelievable catch. His back was turned to the infield. It was over his opposite shoulder, and at the end, he really went for it and makes a catch that I'm telling you, not many people can make. Look at, he's looking over the other shoulder, and he hung in there. You don't realize how tough a play like that is. When the outfielders are coming in and you need help, that is called total concentration right there. Beautiful catch. My goodness.
So 2 down, and the right-handed hitting Miles Straw to the plate. Fastball up high. out of there with a fastball up and in. Is ball 4, so now the go-ahead run moves into scoring position with 2 down. And Bo Naylor coming up.
We're going to pinch hit.
David Fry moving to the on-deck circle. And he'll head to home plate.
And it's time to make a pitching change. Once he's announced, no, don't go over it. You won't be in for him.
He's going to go to the right-hander, Shintaro Fujinami, with 2 on and 2 out here in the bottom of the 8th, and we'll be right back. For Guardians Live, presented by Toyota, coming up after the ball game. Now Pulaski, Ellis Burks will recap this one. Game that saw Oakland get out to a 2-0 lead. Guardians tied it. Now here in the 8th, they've got a chance to take their first lead of the night. 2 on, 2 out. The new pitcher, Shintaro Fujinami. His season is hard to figure out. His ERA is 10, as you see, 10.65. 36 innings. He's given up 41 hits. He has 30 walks and 38 strikeouts. Wow. But first batters faced as a reliever are 0 for 15 against him.
I mean, he throws hard. He's got an excellent arm. He's never faced this ball club. And 4 of 9 inherited runners have scored, but got to make sure you can get him in the zone. And as a base runner, be ready. He can throw it anywhere.
He's 29 years old and spent his entire career in the Japanese league until this year. Came over and signed a 1-year free agent deal to pitch for the Oakland A's. In 10 seasons in Japan, his ERA was 3.17. Here we go. David Fry pinch hitting for Bo Naylor. First ball swinging, it's pop foul out of play. There's a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's up high, 1-1. Good luck. And that was 102. Struck him out, inning over. We'll go to the 9th, still tied at 2. Emmanuel Clase coming on to pitch the 9th inning for Cleveland. 35th appearance on the year. It's a 2-2 ball game. And he'll try to get him to the bottom of the 9th with a chance to walk it off. He'll have the bottom third of the Oakland order coming up. Ramon Laureano, Tony Kemp, Shea Langoliers, the scheduled hitters.
Fry stays in the game behind the dish.
slider for strike one. Mo Laureano, 2 for his last 19 with 11 strikeouts. That is drilled to deep right in the corner and foul. That guy catch that? No. Oh, see, he could have lost all 3 of his fingers. He might be wishing he didn't try to catch
He got
this.
the wrong hat on, and his fingers would have broke. Ooh, he got lucky it hit him there. If they hit a finger, the fingers may not be on the hand. Was that a White Sox hat he had on?
Looked like an old one. One, two. Chopper slowly hit toward third. Ramirez cutting it off, throws him out. 1 down.
Stepping to the plate now for the A's, number 5, Tony Kemp.
Tony Kemp has scored both Oakland runs tonight. He singled to lead off the third, came around on an RBI ground out, and then he homered with 1 out in the 7th. Just his 2nd home run of the year. .99, but off the plate. Bottom of the zone, 2-1. That was a pretty good look at what the hitter is facing when you've got a 98-mile-an-hour cutter bearing in on you.
Yeah, not an easy thing to do, boy.
Puts it in play, but the first baseman, Josh Naylor, will take it himself. 2 down.
And back now for the Athletics, the catcher, Shea Langeliers.
Shea Langeliers, 1 for 3 with a single. I mentioned Langeliers took over as the primary catcher this year after the trade that sent Sean Murphy to Atlanta. The Langeliers just came a year ago from Atlanta in the Matt Olson trade. And it's 0-2. He steps away. 17,773 on a warm night here at Progressive Field. Clase ready. He's ground ball to third, backhanded by Ramirez. Nice defensive play. Ramirez is red hot with the leather tonight. Now we'll see if he can deliver with the bat. He's due up third right after Kwan and Rosario in the bottom of the ninth. 2-2, bottom of the ninth. Top of the order for Cleveland. Stephen Kwan will lead it off. He is 1 for 4 on the night. He had a leadoff double way back in the first, but the Guardians were unable to advance him, let alone score him. Shintaro Fujinami struck out the only batter he faced in the 8th, stays on to pitch the 9th. He has 6 starts under his belt, so he could be in there for a while should we go to extra innings.
Right now, Kwan's going to make him get in the strike zone.
One ball, one strike. I guess it's appropriate that this game will be decided in the final at bat because the first 3 games were all decided in the last at bat in Oakland.
Exactly how it started this year, no question. Second stop before we came home for our home opener.
It's up high at 101. And the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. You know, as bad as things have been for Oakland, their record in games decided in the last at bat is only 10-12. That's not too bad, especially when you consider Cleveland's record is 9-14. Now the 2-2. Center field. Ruiz makes the catch, 1 down. I guess it's one of those deals where when you have a team that's having the kind of year Oakland is having, if you get a team like that down early, I mean 4 or 5 runs early, you kind of take the life out of them. Whereas if you let them hang around, they so rarely have been in the win column, they actually go up a few notches in terms of intensity.
That's for any team that, you know, doesn't score a whole lot or do a lot of damage with the home run ball. Like we said earlier, both these teams have better percentage of singles than anything else. Tough to come from behind. You've got to do all the little things right, and this has been a pretty clean ball game overall. I think the one mistake made was Brown diving for that ball that tied the game up.
Rosario backs away from a breaking ball, and it's 1-1. Ahmed singled in the 3rd, doubled in the 5th, and drove in a run with a base hit in the 7th, and then scored the tying run on that ball that Rick talked about. A line drive hit by Jose Ramirez. But this one is popped up on the infield. That's out number 2.
Well, we're going to have a little conference on the mound. He's going to bring his interpreter
Jose Ramirez is coming up. He wants to make
sure
nothing is lost in translation here.
Absolutely. He's probably already told that guy what to tell him. Look at him. He's got it. Now tell him.
That's Scott Emerson, the pitching coach.
He's looking at his, he's in the hat. He's got the old, you know, his chart on, on how he goes about each hitter in this lineup. So he's just relaying a message that how they want to go about it. Doing his homework while you're sitting waiting to throw the next pitch.
Fastball up and away, ball one. Two and oh.
Almost like scares him when you go out there, to talk about one hitter. Hey, you don't want to make a mistake. You want to do this.
Challenged him.
Yes, he did.
Jose grounds to second. And we've got extra innings tied at 2. Turn it over to Angel De Los Santos, who has the top of the order for the Oakland A's. It'll be Esteury Ruiz, Ryan Noda, Brent Rooker due up. And De Los Santos on for the 30th time this year.
Well, the first hitter he's going to face, Ruiz, that's the one guy you don't want on the base. That's a big out for him.
Ruiz leading off, not showing bunt, takes a fastball for a strike.
Well, Naylor cheating in a lot at first base, and Jose right at the cut of the grass. He's going to make him bunt it to third, make him field it if they want to sacrifice him. But got to throw him a strike first. Naylor backed off also.
There's a fastball in there for a strike. De Los Santos was almost untouchable in the first 2 months of the season, but here in the month of June, he's crashed back to earth. 6 runs allowed in 7 innings of work. He gets a ground ball out here, and Ruiz unable to advance. Langoliers 1 down.
Stepping in now for Oakland, left fielder Ryan Noda.
Ryan Noda 0 for 4. Noda picked up an RBI on a ground out in the 3rd inning, and then he was involved in the biggest at bat of the night for Oakland when he hit a line drive to first with the bases loaded. Josh Naylor snared it, stepped on the bag for an inning-ending double play, and that ball was scorched too. The ball wasn't right at Naylor. It was going to be at least a 2-run hit. Given that Ruiz was the runner at first base, it might have been a 3-run hit.
Yeah, right. There you see it right down the line, right into the tracks of Josh Naylor. Hit it on the nose. Stabs it, steps on the bag, inning over.
You could see the look on Noda's face. He just dropped the bat. I mean, what more can you do? Fastball strike 2 into the count. Noda's put the ball in play all 4 times, and that's good for him because he has struck out 85 times already this year. A's 3rd most in the majors coming into tonight in strikeouts. Only the Twins and Giants have struck out more times than Oakland heading into today's games. Now the 2-2. Ooh. borderline, but it's called a ball to full count.
The ball had some run to it.
And the 3-2 is strike 3 called, and Noda doesn't like it. And he's barking at Carlos Torres. And fortunate he didn't get the heave-ho.
That's a perfect pitch. He thought it might have been a little low. He was taking that wrap off, but that's you know, it's tough to take pitches that close when you have 2 strikes and put it in the hands of the umpire. You know, that's a borderline pitch. It can go either way.
Noda's one of those guys that's kind of hard to figure out, Rick. I told you he leads the team in strikeouts. That's his 86th, but he's also leading the league in walks.
Takes a lot of pitches and close ones like that. Yeah. And when you're young, sometimes you don't get those close ones.
J.J. Bleday pinch hitting. Ball gets away, and Fry can't get a throw off. Langalier's down to third base, but there are 2 outs in the inning.
Matt, there are 2 outs, and right now the A's and the Guardians are going through the same issue, hitting with runners in scoring position. Over the weekend, the A's were 1 for 19 with runners in scoring position on Saturday, 1 for 4 on Sunday. Tonight, at last check, I believe they were 0 for 11, or 0 for 7 in tonight's game. So that's an issue they've had. We talked about the Guardians having that problem. It seemed like they bust out on Sunday after not doing it Saturday. Tonight, they're 1 of 11 with runners in scoring position.
Well, here's Brent Rooker, or rather J.J. Bleday hitting for Brent Rooker. And a 1-0 count. Now, what's the stoppage here?
Did the hitter call time?
No, he didn't.
Yeah, somebody did because he just signaled, but he doesn't. Torres doesn't really
tell anyone anything.
No, it's not real good. 1-0. The 1-1. J.J. Bleday 0 for 3 as a pinch hitter.
These A's have done a heck of a job pinch hitting. They have 19 hits this year pinch hitting. 19 for 66.
The 1-2 is a little high. Oh, man.
Tell you what, don't take another one that close. That's another one. Either way, it can go. Either way.
Three balls and 2 strikes with 2 down in the 10th. 2-2 game. Go ahead, run at third. Payoff pitch. Foul. Not by much. He's got hard. Again, the 3-2. And he lifts it high in the air. Left field line. Kwan is there, makes the catch. And we'll go to the bottom of the 10th. Tied at 2. 6th pitcher of the night for Oakland will be right-hander Trevor May. May's last game was 3 days ago against Philadelphia. And he worked a scoreless inning.
Trevor May in his arsenal, the 4-seam fastball, slider, change up a lot. The other 2 will sprinkle in there. At his job now, they're going to have Ramirez will be the base runner at second base.
May was the losing pitcher when the Guardians scored 2 in the 10th inning against Oakland at the Coliseum back on April 3rd. And then the very next day, he picked up the win when he pitched a scoreless 9th, and Oakland walked it off in the bottom of the 9th. Josh Naylor will lead it off for Cleveland, and now what?
All right, the Guardians feel like they're going to walk Naylor, and they are. So they've already had a conversation with Tyler Freeman on what they want him to do in this situation. Not sure why the A's need to have it. You would think this would be discussed in between innings. Now, I know the Guardians talked about it. Sarvi and Tito were already talking about it. They figured Naylor would not get pitched to, so they're having a long conversation with Freeman now on what they want to do with 2 guys on.
Well, add another intentional walk.
Matt added up to when they changed this rule, why they're changing.
That's 20. That's 21 now. Intentional walks, and as many. This will be extra inning game number 10. And anytime you get into this part of the lineup, they always walk either Ramirez or Naylor.
Especially with Josh Bell being lifted for the pinch runner. They're going to take their chances with Tyler Freeman and see if he's bunting. They pinch at the corners. He squares. He gets it down.
Beautiful.
They go to third, not in time.
What a mistake.
Wow.
What a mistake that was.
Jace Peterson. Now, maybe that's what Kotsay wanted him to do. Maybe that was the conversation. Hey, let's go to the wheel play.
Well, you go to the wheel play, but that ball was just not in time. He didn't even slide. He's thinking they're going to go to first base, so he was lucky, but he got in there. That's how slow developing that play was. So that'll be a fielder's choice.
Sacrifice and a fielder's choice. Sacrifice. Fielder's choice.
They haven't said anything yet. That was an error in my mind. You can't give an error, but it's going to be a
fielder's choice. So bases are loaded, infield in. Andres Jimenez, the batter, he can win it. Pops it up, foul out of play. Infield in, outfield mostly in. Laureano is way out in right field. He's got no chance to throw anybody out from there.
Sacrifice fly would do it.
Counted in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jimenez 0 for 3 on the night. The 1-1. Right field. This will do it. Jimenez walks it off for Cleveland, their 4th of the year. Andres Jimenez was hitless on the night until that at bat. That's his 4th RBI of the year against the A's, and it extends his hitting streak to 5 games. A game that saw the Guardians fall behind 2-0. They tied it in the 7th, and they win it here in the 10th. They were 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position going into this 10th inning. But they get one big hit from Jimenez to eke out a 3-2 win.
Well, you see he wanted it upstairs, but it's a breaking ball. It stayed down. It speeds up his bat. No room for error there, though. It didn't matter. I mean, the outfield was in, the infield was in. They were trying to cut anything off they could at the dish. Couldn't do it. That'll go as a base hit and a walk-off. What a way to start the series.
Great way to start the series, and what a season series it's been between these two teams. They've played 4 games. all 4 games decided in the last at bat, and so far 3 of the 4 have gone the way of the Guardians. Cleveland goes to 34-38 on the year, and the A's losing streak has reached 6 in a row as they fall to 19-56 on the year. You know, they had the lead. They scored in the 3rd. They added a run in the 7th on a home run by Tony Kemp to take a 2-0 advantage. But in the bottom of the 7th, the Guardians struck back, got a leadoff double by Miles Straw, and then with 2 outs, back-to-back RBI hits by Ahmed Rosario and Jose Ramirez to tie it. The Ramirez hit, it looked like it fooled Seth Brown. He got a late break on it. That tied it up and set the stage for the extra inning dramatics from Andres Gimenez. And downstairs, we are about to go to Andre Knott.
You can bring it to me as Andres comes on over here. Congratulations on your hit. You got all your stuff together. Going through a game like that, what's going through your mind in that at bat, watching after the bases get loaded?
Este tipo de juego, después que pone la base llena, ¿qué pasa por tu cabeza en ese turno?
Just try to be focused on every pitch. Try to get a good pitch to hit. You know, I was thinking he maybe attacked me on that particular at bat, but you know, thanks God everything happened great.
You know, hitting with guys in scoring position comes and goes. You guys had a great game on Sunday. Saturday you struggled with it. Tonight weren't great with it. What is it you feel like as a team you guys need to do better to stay consistent in that situation?
¿Qué es lo que piensa que el equipo tiene que hacer para mejorar el bateo con más gente en posición anotadora? A veces no sale bien, pero no está siendo constante. ¿Qué piensa que hay que hacer para mejorar esa parte del juego?
Sí, yo creo que lo que él dice, ser un poquito más consistente. Yo creo que en el approach, tratar de ser consistente en el approach, tratar de tener buenos picheos que podamos hacer daño, y yo creo que eso nos va a ayudar un poquito a quitar la presión de que algunos días no sale como queremos.
Just what you mentioned, being consistent in those ABs, you know, like have the consistent approach during those situations and make sure we get a good pitch to hit so we can create some damage. Sometimes it feels like we try to do too much in those situations, and the key is to be able to focus and get a good pitch to hit.
How important is this time period for you guys playing this homestand before you get to the All-Star break with that last road trip?
¿Qué tan importante esta última serie en casa antes de luego ir a la carretera y luego ir a la All-Star break?
No, I mean it's huge. It's huge for us. You know, at this point, every game matters. You know, June, the weather kind of helped us a lot, but you know, we just kept trusting in each other and playing game by game.
Emmy, the coolest thing I'm seeing right now is if you turn that little guy with your jersey. How cool is that to see?
It's great, man. You know, we play for them. You know, and I'm glad to see too many people here today, and you know, looking forward to see what we got next.
Great job tonight. We appreciate it to you and Augie. Go ahead and make that kid smile. Back to Rick and Matt. You're going to sign my ball for me, Rick. Come on.
You got it.
Well, that's going to do it. Guardians get a big win here. Walk-off style and extra innings to start the homestand and the series. Stay tuned for Guardians Live. Al Pawlowski and Ellis Burks going to relive the highlights. And Andre will have more from the Guardians clubhouse coming up next.